Hello and welcome to Advice with Ben. Today I'll be talking about the Olympic Games. The Olympic Games are a worldwide sporting event that takes place every 4 years, initially created by the ancient Greeks to participate in when they weren't busy being smart philosophers or building giant wooden horses to give to their enemies. Obviously, the Olympics the ancient Greeks took part in are very different to the modern Olympics, with them including dangerous sports such as chariot racing and the athletes often having to compete with minimal clothes on. Most of my Olympic knowledge comes from the fact I once competed as an athlete, competing for Great Britain in the sport of Synchronized Drowning. We didn't win. The Olympic Games have been running for centuries now, and the physical attributes of athletes have significantly improved over this time, with them getting stronger and faster. So much so that it's expected in 2028 that most Olympic athletes will be roughly 8 foot tall. They'll also evolve to meet the specific demands of their sports. For example, long jumpers will soon develop wings, and swimmers will become weird mutant fish creatures. Sure, it's not a great look, but it's worth it for the podium. This year's games are being hosted in Japan, the home country of sumo wrestling and my 2D girlfriend. The Olympics are designed to bring people from all over the world together, and it highlights what certain countries are best at. For example, Jamaicans are really good at sprinting, and Great Britain is really good at competitive tea drinking. Now, I've personally wanted to be a professional athlete ever since I saw the 2004 Oscar-winning masterpiece Dodgeball, and so the Olympics is a strange time for me, as there's nothing more depressing than watching a 14-year-old win a gold medal for being a god at table tennis while I sit at home on the sofa, exhausted from my last run to the fridge. However, there is some hope if you're old and still want to compete, with Oscar Swan winning a silver medal at the young age of 72 years old, taking part in the shooting event when not busy combing his ridiculously long beard. Before the games can begin, the Olympic torch has to be carried across the world to the hosting stadium, kind of like that one orc in Lord of the Rings, except slightly more friendly. After the torch arrives, there's a large opening ceremony, allowing the hosting country to show off their culture and traditions, while also giving corrupt politicians the opportunity to shake hands and have lots of photos taken. One thing that I don't like about the Olympics is that athletes aren't allowed to do as many steroids as they want, meaning they aren't allowed to be as ridiculously jacked as they potentially could be. Potential drug taking is stopped by organisations that closely monitor athletes, not stopping in their quest until they sample and test the urine of everyone on Earth. The Olympic Games are closely followed by the Paralympics, giving disabled athletes an opportunity to shine, and honestly I vastly prefer the Paralympics, as wheelchair racing is 10 times more exciting than boring sprinting. Another fun fact is that Olympic athletes are apparently incredibly horny, with the Rio 2016 Olympic Committee distributing 42 condoms to every single competing athlete. Regardless of condoms, however, I'm sure some athletes will leave Tokyo with 2 things to take home, both a gold medal and gonorrhea. One way I think the Olympics could be improved is by going back to the ancient ways and hosting a gladiator match at the end of the games. I've always wanted to know who'd win in a fight between archers and kickboxers. Regardless, even if they do add a gladiator fight, I don't think I'll ever be truly invested in the Olympics until they add the most intense and competitive sport the world has ever seen. I'm talking about Wii bowling, of course, the sport of champions. But anyway, if you don't mind me, I'm going to go off and continue to train in my futile attempt to become an athlete. Unfortunately, I've probably missed my chance to compete this summer, but I can probably go for the Winter Games. I'm sure I can easily be the last dude in a bobsleigh. If you enjoyed my thoughts on the Olympics, I would really appreciate a subscribe, and if you want to see more Ben related content, why not check out some of my other videos? I promise they aren't all that bad.